around Christmas time, we should wear Christmas sweaters.
Ooh, Christmas sweaters. Widower.
Yeah.
Make my wish come true. Baby, all I want for Christmas is you.
And it ain't even Halloween.
This is Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. This is
Halloween.
Heck yeah, Chris. Making the words.
Marietta Muskrats going to the Natty.
I like the Musketeers.
Musketeer, muskrat. What's the difference?
Muskrat. Welcome back to the Bench to Mike podcast. I am Kale Fultz, also known as CF3.
I am Chris Cortez, also known as Chris Cortez.
Former child. Yeah, guys, so diving into this episode, we are going to be talking about the Lima Senior football game we went to last Friday and potentially some D3 ball talk. So just diving right into Lima Senior. What a great game, Chris.
What a great experience that was.
Great atmosphere. Lima backs up its football team.
Oh, yeah. That was my first ever, I guess, if you want to call it a big game high school game outside of playing for a Division 7 team.
Did you ever go to a Finley game? Have you been to a Finley game?
I've never been to a Finley game, and I've
Wow.
never – I think the biggest high school game that I've ever attended was watching my girlfriend cheer her senior year. It was like a BVC championship anniversary they were having, and there was a lot of people there, and that was probably it.
Who was playing?
I think Arlington was playing Macomb.
Oh, so it was like one of our games.
Yeah, and both teams were undefeated, I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah, but that was the biggest high school game. So other than that, this is the only big high school game that I've ever been to.
Well,
So this was definitely, I guess, kind of a culture shock for me because I've only ever seen Division 7 football, which is for our out-of-state viewers, that is the smallest. That's the smallest division.
Because other schools do A. So there's 7A, which is the biggest, and 1A is the smallest.
Which
so
I had no idea.
so-
I thought it was
the opposite. Well, yeah. So we're basically a 1A school for our out-of-state viewers.
yeah.
But yeah, so Lima Senior is Division 2. They have a QB prospect in the junior class, the 2026 class, and a senior in the 2025 class. They're like the top 50 prospects in Ohio. I'm not sure where they rank nationally, but they are up there. Just spilled my water. But yeah, it was awesome. I talked to both of them after the game. Go check out the vlog if you guys haven't. You know what we're talking about. Please go check that out because I put a lot of time into that episode, that video.
Great episode, by the way. Definitely considering making it into a possible series.
We need to go to more high school games.
Absolutely,
We do.
agree.
But yeah, we got on the sideline. The athletic director was super friendly. The head coach was super friendly. I guess that's his second year there.
Really, Coach Lawrence? That's his second.
That's his second year there.
He wasn't coaching like it was his second year there.
Yeah, he definitely is an experienced coach. He definitely
yeah.
has some winning traditions over there and knows how to win some games.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got something great brewing. Because I think they won the Toledo City League last year.
Yeah, they did.
And last year was their first ever year in the Toledo City League.
There you go. Either that conference just that bad or Lima is just that good. I guess we'll never know. But so Lima went that game 6-0. Rogers was 2-4, and they came out on top with what was the final score?
37-6.
Yeah, and honestly, Lima could have put 70 up on those boys if they just they made too many mistakes, too many penalties. They threw like 2 picks.
It was all that happened in the first half.
That's expected though with that kind of offense. I mean, that whole offense is just screens and taking shots on the field and all about chemistry with the players. And I think the 2 interceptions were basically just the QB and receiver not matching up.
Yeah. I mean, and just like you said, it's just a numbers game at that point. It's all odds, and a blind squirrel finds a nut at some point, right? You're gonna throw interceptions, throwing the ball 50, 60 times a game.
Yeah.
Interceptions will happen.
His elbow's got to hurt, dude. It's got to hurt, man. And his leg. I mean, that man was scrambling. He loved to run. I mean, he had a nice pocket presence. Hall did. He had the QB for Lima Senior. He had a nice pocket presence, but I really enjoyed watching him sit there, establish, look at his routes, and then just take off with it. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Kid's only a junior in high school, too. Like, he's got a full another year of high school to grow and develop. Then all of college ahead of him.
It's going to be interesting what's going to happen next year when he doesn't have Wilson to throw to, because Wilson is that team. I know they do have some tools and some weapons. I'm not going to lie. Wilson, I mean, he was probably averaging 10, 15 yards a carry.
Oh, yeah. Isaiah Wilson did a lot for the receivers. I
and
checked his
run game as well.
Oh, yeah. I checked his Rivals account. As of right now, he has 2 D1 offers, one to Youngstown State and one to Miami of Ohio.
But Miami's the one that only popped up in Rivals when I checked. I just saw it on his Instagram as Youngstown.
I think Youngstown was on his Instagram.
Yeah.
I could have sworn Youngstown was on Rivals too. I don't know how
I didn't
saw
see it,
Youngstown.
but maybe you did.
I don't know.
I'm not disagreeing, but I think he could play in the MAC. You think he has size to play in the MAC?
Oh yeah.
He's 5'11".
After seeing him up close, of course, I'm a pretty small guy myself. I'm 5'6", so everybody looks big to me. Seeing him on the ground though, yeah, I would say he's
a standout player. He really is. I mean, he looks like a man amongst boys.
Yeah,
even only being 5'11".
Yep, he belongs.
I don't really think he has a chance to go power forward just because of his size, but the way he plays and what size he does have and how much muscle he has, he can probably go like Group of 5 or FCS.
Yeah, never say never, but he's definitely got D1 talent for sure written all over him.
Absolutely,
can't wait.
I think Lima Senior, that entire team is full of talent. I think he just has the size. The quarterback is good. He just I think he was like 5'8", probably 5'9",
something like.
He was only a couple inches shorter than Wilson. Probably should have that weight pulled up. It's on the video, so we'll check the video, like I said.
Yeah.
But we don't
next year. Go ahead.
I was just say we don't have too much to cover because we don't have the stats, unfortunately. But I mean, they slung that thing.
Oh yeah, and then next year, I mean, I can only assume somebody else will probably step up and take Wilson's place. I mean, it seems like they got a great receiving tree brewing in Lima with how they're coaching up their receivers to play.
Absolutely.
And with a great quarterback throwing them the ball.
And if you guys have any questions, most of our sources are from what we saw in person and also Max Preps. Go to Max Preps Instagram or the website, and you'll find a lot of good information there.
Yeah.
About these guys. And if any recruits are watching, please give those guys a shout out and go give them a chance. I mean, those are some dudes.
Yeah. And of course, thank you to Mr. Zell for having us out.
Thank you to the athletic director of Lima Senior for giving us sideline passes and media pass. It was awesome, and I hope we can come back. Well, the head coach invited us back for a playoff game, so if you guys want to see another one, leave it in the comments, leave a like on this podcast, and we'll go back for a Lima Senior playoff game.
Of course, schedule abiding, of course. If neither of us have anything going on a day of a playoff game, we will definitely be down there for sure. It was funny that just stuck around with my mind?
Huh.
The first thing Coach Lawrence said to us was he was sorry for how they played.
Yeah,
and I looked at him and I said, Coach, what are you sorry about, man? I said, look at the scoreboard. What do you got to be sorry about?
Yeah, I mean, I think he has higher expectations for his team than what they played.
Oh yeah.
I mean that team. I mean they kept Rogers in the game. They not by score. So the score
was 8-6 at halftime.
Yeah, they kept them in the game. Rogers only had probably 2 or 3 actual plays they did themselves. They had a deep pass early in the game, and that one screen that went for a good bit. And then that QB number 12, he could fight for some yards.
I will say out of their whole team, he was definitely their best player. The number 12 quarterback for Rogers. He carried that team. He was the team.
Also, what was up with putting 52 at running back? What was up with that?
He was there near the end of the third quarter, and then they just kept him there. I don't know if there was an injury or if they thought the game was out of hand at that time, so it was time to start putting the kids in. But I don't know.
He probably averaged 3 yards a carry, and his only good carry was his very first one. He broke outside and broke 2 tackles for a 7 to 9 yard gain.
Yeah, so, I don't know what that was about.
He's 52. Is that even an eligible number?
I don't know if they do. Do they do eligible numbers in high school?
Yeah, they didn't. They also do them in junior high. I can remember there was that one Corey Ross tight end wearing 72 that we went up against in junior high, and they said that he was eligible.
I don't know. Because the first thing that came to my mind was, in the NFL you can have an extra lineman up there and act as a tight end and catch a pass in the end zone, like one of those little lineman pop passes, but.
Yeah, I think you have to establish with the refs though that he's eligible.
Yeah, I mean maybe they did, but we just didn't catch on.
I guess. I mean he was back there. So now in terms of the atmosphere was great. The home stands were packed. It was their homecoming night. Definitely parents and proud moms were out there ringing bells. Now for the away stands, honestly, there was more Lima Senior in the away stands than there was Rogers.
There was quite a bit of Lima Senior fans.
There was Lima Senior uncles, grandpas, and dads on the sideline with us on the visitor side.
Go great Lima. Guys! Oh, we had a fun time hanging out with those guys.
They were funny, man. Yeah.
But I kind of understand why the away side was kind of empty. I mean, the Toledo City League, everybody's up in Toledo. Lima's the only non-Toledo team, and Toledo is an hour and 20-minute drive from Lima. That is a long drive.
Why are they going so far out of their way? Why are they going so far out of their way to play Lima? It's weird. So every school in that conference in Toledo except Lima. It's all that's so weird. It's gonna be really annoying to like go from
have to play at Lima.
Yeah,
Like
'cause,
that, I bet there is genuinely a home field advantage Lima has just because of how far away they are. Because the away team can barely even travel with their fans.
That's just so weird. Like every school is insulated. So every school is like a 20, 30-minute drive at most, to tops.
Yeah.
And then you go an hour 20 to go play Lima.
Yeah.
And then get your butt kicked by a 6-0 undefeated team.
Which they are right now, according to JoeIdle.com, which is the, I guess, primary computer rankings of Ohio football. They are number 6 in Region 8. They're the 6th ranked team. I don't know what they are in state rankings, but that's what they are in the computer rankings in their region.
It's always hard to judge high school because of the strength of conferences. It's always hard to judge that,
Yeah.
So it's like
they did go on a mini run last year. I did remember seeing them in the paper a couple times later down the stretch in the season, and they did go on a pretty decent run last year.
I'm assuming most of those guys are back who
Yeah.
are on the team. So I mean, it's just an older, more experienced group.
Yeah, which they're only going to do better.
Stay tuned for that.
Oh yeah.
Stay tuned for Lima Senior. Now, what's next? Food review. Food review. We had a hot dog and a Gatorade. That was pretty simple. $2 hot dog, $2 Gatorade. What did I give it? Like a 7 out of 10 for being a $2 hot dog? Well, no, 7 out of 10 for being for hot dog in general, but 10 out of 10 for the price.
Yeah, I think I gave the exact same score.
Yeah, and Gatorades are Gatorade. You guys know what Gatorade tastes like. So, I wish we could have got the least chicken basket.
Oh, me too. I did not expect them to have an actual chain restaurant. It is bonus points for any football team if they have a chain restaurant as part of their concession stand menu.
High school, D2 high school. It's not even like Division 1. It's D2 high school.
Does Finley have it?
I've
never.
I've
been
only
to a
been
Finley
to
game.
one Finley game. I don't remember seeing anything like that at Finley. Because I went to Finley my senior.
I figured Finley might maybe have McDonald's or something.
Yeah, I don't know what they have, but I don't remember seeing anything. I think they had pizza. There's some sort of pizza there. But that's it.
Yeah, but that was cool though.
When we go to a playoff game, we have to make that happen. We're going to get some loose chicken.
Lee's chicken strips happening.
And then lastly, we'll cover is uniform matchups.
Lima won.
Lima wore an all black Under Armour uniform. I don't like any other uniform usually except Nike's because Nike just did the best job of like Adidas because Adidas is like a one stretchy fit. Don't really like it. Under Armour's old ones were one stretchy fits, but recently they kind of got into some more Nike-like material with like their tighter fit and not stretchy. It's all black with a gray helmet and this like cardinal red, I'd say, face mask. Cardinal red.
Yeah.
With with their own version of like a blackout Spartan on the side. They look so intimidating. It looks so. I was scared of those
good.
15, 16-year-old boys. I was
Me
terrified.
too.
And then Rogers had some old. What brand were they like? Under Armour, Nike, or they even anything?
Nike, white Nike jerseys, black pants.
It looked. I don't know how to describe it. It just didn't look good. It just what it was like. It was just too many colors, and they were away. But then they were like black pants. It just. I'm just not a fan.
It looked too like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, it just
it looked too out of its time.
Yeah, they just needed an update, and like a lot of the drip was bad. Like there was a guy wearing a baggy red short sleeve with too tight elbow pad arm sleeves. Like it was the drip. They just didn't do themselves justice. It was bad. But in terms of a night game, it was a great matchup because there was black on the uniforms for both teams, and it made that a great matchup because Friday Night Lights, of course, but it was good.
I got to shout out Rogers helmets though.
Ooh,
I did
the
like
Rams.
the black helmets with the red ram horns.
That's
on
what
the sides.
every Ram school does, though.
It's unoriginal, but I can't lie, I'm a sucker for it. I really do like the ram horns on the helmet.
I got you. Well, I can't even talk because, I feel like every school ever does Alabama's with the stripe and numbers on the side. That's what our high school did. That's what Bluffton's doing. So everyone kind of copies Bama on that. I think Bama was like one of the first schools to really do that.
Yeah.
Or like people copy Ohio State with like the stripe and a bunch of like pride stickers. People copy that.
Yeah.
I hate Michigan's.
You don't like Michigan's helmet at all?
With the Wolverine thing. Michigan does it well, but I hate when people copy Michigan.
Oh, okay. I know what you're saying. Yeah. When other people do it, it doesn't look good, but Michigan just does it right. It's Michigan.
It's Michigan. It's their look.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's their uniform matchup, and that's all we really got for Lima Senior game. That's really it. We covered it.
The no-see-ums.
Go ahead and get into that then.
So when we got there, we're kind of just talking to each other, agreeing to people. Then we're just chilling in the end zone, kind of waiting. The kids are forming the tunnel, and the cheerleaders and the band are. And then this guy over here, I learned my lesson the week prior, so I wore a hoodie that night. I didn't care if it was 95 degrees or not. He comes out in short sleeves and he's slapping his arms, scratching his arms. I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "All these little bugs, they're biting me." He's like, "I don't know where they're coming from, but they're just biting me." For those of you that aren't from the Midwest, October is prime no-see-em season. No-see-ems are little tiny gnats. They look like little tiny gnats. They fly all over. They're invisible. That's why they call them no-see-ems. You see them when they land on your skin and they start biting you. It is. I would say it's about it hurts just about as bad as a horsefly bite. Except take horseflies, and there's like hundreds of them just eating you.
And you can't really see them. It's a little black dots, and they were biting my arms all night and my neck. And like I thought, am I dirty? Like, do I stink that bad?
No.
No, they just were getting me, man. And I came up with like little like bumps on me, like almost like mosquito bite bumps. But
that's what they do.
I'd rate it like a 4 out of 10 in pain, but it was like a pinch every time.
It's just it's I guess tedious would be the word to say it, or just because they just kept doing it.
To deal with.
Yeah, it's a hassle to deal with because they just wouldn't stop. There's no stopping it. There's just hundreds of them because they like living in the turf. That's what the ref said. Where any turf field there is, they like living in the turf.
That's no hate on the Lima Senior though. That's no hate on them.
Oh no. It happened to me at the Bowling Green game the week before. I was getting eaten alive by these things sitting in the stands, and he was fine because he had a hoodie on. It's just wear hoodies in October, people, because the no-see-ems are out.
Oof, rough.
All right, that's our little segment on that.
Now we're gonna dive into some D3 ball, and we're gonna segment right off that. The practice that we had after the awful rain we had on Sunday. So I played a JV game, like 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago ish, and it was downpouring. And then we came out to practice the next day, bro. There was like these white flying around bugs. They were all over. I mean, dude, there was. I'm not even kidding. 1 million. There was. They swarmed the sky. You couldn't see them. And as we're running on the field, they're popping up and flying up. Dude, it was. I've never seen anything like it before in my life.
Did they bite?
No, they just land on us. They were all over our helmets, all over our faces.
At least they didn't bite.
They weren't like attacking. They just had nowhere else to go, and it was wet. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was like because we don't practice on Mondays. It was a Tuesday then. It must have been like a Tuesday morning practice because it just downpoured. I guess both nights because downpoured the JV game, downpoured Monday, I guess, and it was like humid and it was warm, but it was like sticky rain. It was and they just covered. It was these white flying around bugs, and they were everywhere. We just could not. We were swiping our face. They were all over us, man.
Ugh.
It was really gross. But going into some D3 ball talk, we want to cover Mount Union and Marietta. So Mount Union is arguably one of the best teams in Division III historically. They have 13 national championships. I played 2 seasons there. And they play in the OAC, which basically, to compare to D1, it's kind of like the Big Ten of D3. The WIAC, I say, is the SEC. Like the Wisconsin Conference is insane, mainly because it's the only conference with public schools in it, because they're all branch schools off of University of Wisconsin.
I didn't even know they were public. I know you mentioned that they were all branch schools, but I didn't know they were all public.
If you're an in-state person, it only costs $7,000 to go to any of those schools.
Really?
Yeah, it's all in-state. Like
didn't even know
that's
that.
Tuition $7,000, and then it's like $13,000 for out-of-state.
That's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, it's 5th year ?
Maybe,
but
Whitewater.
That'd be sweet, dude.
That's such a cool stadium.
Whitewater broke the D3 record again. They broke it again to 21,000. That is the most fans at a D3 game. They broke it again, dude.
We gotta go out to a big time Whitewater game, like playoff or like a big time rivalry game.
We have to.
We need to make it to Whitewater.
Yeah, I think they played Oshkosh, and that's why it was the biggest rivalry. I'm not the biggest rivalry, but the biggest game is because it's Oshkosh, and Oshkosh is always up there in terms of WAC. But yeah, it's basically OAC is Ohio Athletic Conference. It's basically a bunch of northeast and like southeast Ohio schools.
And you got a couple Northwest Ohio ones.
There's 2 in Columbus.
ONU and Heidelberg.
Oh, there's ONU and Heidelberg in the northwest. So it's north. It's north.
It's kind of like the best of the best of Ohio.
It honestly is like if there's three kind of Ohio conference. HCAC, but it's a mixture of Ohio and Indiana. Then there's the NCAC, which is mostly Ohio, Pennsylvania, a little bit of what's the state below Ohio?
Kentucky.
I guess like a little bit North Kentucky. Well, no, because I think that team left. Actually, never mind. So it's mostly Pennsylvania and Ohio, and the OAC is purely Ohio.
The best schools.
And then Case Western plays in the PAC, which is it's literally the Pennsylvania Athletic Conference. But but I mean, if you want to count Case Western, which is in Northeast Ohio, then it goes OAC, NCAC, and HCAC in terms of competitiveness. So yeah. But So Marietta is having a crazy run right now. I'm gonna pull up their schedule real quick for you guys. Marietta's played St. John Fisher, which is a pretty good team in the New York area. Otterbein University, Capital, and Ohio Northern. Ohio Northern, we scrimmaged them. They're good this year. Ohio Northern's never good. Well, at least haven't been in recent history. But they smacked them. Capital and Otterbein, nothing to brag about, but they murdered Ohio Northern. They're playing Heidelberg, and ONU beat Heidelberg, so I think that's going to be a good win for them. And so Marietta kind of has a cakewalk up until, like, with the way they've been playing, they have a cakewalk until Baldwin-Wallace. Baldwin-Wallace will be a good game to kind of give Mount Union a good idea of where they're at. So they have Heidelberg, Muskingum, Baldwin-Wallace, Wilmington, Mount Union, John Carroll. So, like, the last 2 games of the season are going to be rough.
So that's going to decide the OAC then, those last 3. Those
absolutely.
Last 2
and
weeks
Mount already beat John Carroll 37-31. So, like.
That could be the OSU championship.
It could. Mount Union has played Fairham out of Virginia. Not a very good team. John Carroll beat them 37-31, beat Baldwin-Wallace 52-14, and they beat Otterbein 21-0. And which is shocker. Mount Union only beat Otterbein 20. So I think we're ranked. No, I'm not part of Mount Union anymore. I can say we. Mount
You
Union,
can be a fan.
I am still a fan. Truthfully, what I'm going to say when I graduate from Bluffton, I'm going to say I played football at Mount Union and I went to school at Bluffton University. That's what I'm going to say to people.
You heard it here first, YouTube.
Yes. I mean, I owe Mount for teaching me everything about being a football player. They taught me so much, and I'm really grateful to my teammates from there. But yeah, I think Mount Union's ranked number 3 in the country right now. And they beat number 25 John Carroll 37-31. They smacked Baldwin-Wallace, which Baldwin-Wallace will probably be in the middle of the pack for OAC, but they only beat Otterbein 21-0, and Marietta beat Otterbein 51-14.
But like.
But also, Otterbein might have Mount Union might have put their 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th string guys in against Otterbein.
I'm going to say, like, because you've always said that Otterbein's, like, the worst of the worst. And I feel like that's a game to where they get up by 2 or 3 touchdowns and they just don't want to bleed the playbook.
And
so they just let everybody else kind of just sit on the lead.
I want to bring this up. I'm not sure I'll pull a picture up on the podcast. I might be too lazy. But Otterbein finally fixed their uniform. They have these old uniforms. And they're like the baggy Nike ones. Like they're baggy. You've seen them, right? And they have the 2 gold stripes, the red uniforms, and then they have red pants with gold stripes. And then they're away. I don't think they have maybe they have all white pants. I think they have all white for away.
Let me look it up.
They had white helmet and cardinal red face mask last year. That was what and that's what they had to their freshman year. Then they finally added a cardinal sticker on the side of their helmet my sophomore year. This year they have all red helmets with 2 gold stripes going down the middle.
Red?
And it goes amazing with their home. It matches their home uniform perfectly. I watched the highlights from the Mount Union versus Otterbein game. And, like, instead of getting the uniforms, they just made their helmet look better with the uniform. Hey, did you find it?
Oh, you're talking about Otterbein.
Yeah, Otterbein's the uniform.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Marietta. I was like.
No, I'm talking about mine. Let's see if I can pull it up. They got new helmets, dude. It didn't get new uniforms. They got new helmets. Like, they have really stupid and old... And they had the O on the side of their helmets, like my freshman year.
Yeah, the white. They're white with the cardinal, and then they got a red face mask.
Yeah, but they changed it now to all red helmets with 2 golden stripes down the middle. Let's see if I can pull it up.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Can I see it on your phone?
Right here?
Yeah, isn't that sick? Screenshot that so I can put that in the video. Or save it. Where'd you find the picture at?
I just looked up Otterbein football.
Yeah, so... It's sick, dude. Instead of getting the uniforms, I just got that, and it's sick.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Maybe they did get uniforms. They actually kind of look different now that I say that. But, yeah, good job, Otterbein.
Good job.
You look good, kid.
A for effort.
I wonder what it looks like with the away uniforms, though. But with the home, it looks sick.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you can make an argument, too, it's too much. But it flows so good.
A little too much ketchup. A little heavy on the ketchup.
Yeah, it looks like ketchup. It looks like they got blasted with ketchup. But yeah, like that's all I wanted to bring up is like it's crazy because I still love the OAC. I still love the competitiveness of it, and I love playing at Mount Union. And so, I'm really rooting for those guys. Obviously Bluffton though, we have to go play Manchester this week. As of dropping this, the morning you're watching this, I'll be heading over to Manchester to hold D3 All-American holder. And
first away game starting.
Yep. Yes. Stay tuned for that vlog. And then we'll be playing MSJ the next following week during our fall break. And that's going to be great to have a fall break and then prepare for the number 1 team in the conference. Or like arguably a team that's going to be competing for a conference championship.
Mount St. Joseph. Go Tigers.
How dare you say that? How dare you?
No Tigers.
No.
No Tigers.
They need to get like the GEUX on the back of their jerseys. They just copy LSU. Like,
They should.
Be funny. Why is that a thing?
I believe it's because the Bayou area. It's like, don't quote me on this. I'm sure there's a right answer, but my interpretation is it's French. It's a French pronunciation because EAUX is pronounced O in French, and Louisiana is like especially in the Bayou area, it's like really French culture heavy.
I should ask my receiver coach because he's from New Orleans.
Yeah, that'd be a perfect guy to ask. So that was my interpretation of why they spell go, GAUX.
Gotcha. Fun fact. Well, that's all we got for this episode, guys. Covered the Lima Senior game. There's nothing much for us to cover because of no stats, but we just know Lima Senior kicked butt that day. And I wanted to talk about my little piece of Marietta versus Mount Union, and stay tuned for when we talk about that when the game actually happens. But that won't be till later in the season.
Fun little factoid. In the entirety of the school's history, Marietta football has never beaten John Carroll. So if they beat Mount Union, that could be a very good game the final week of the season.
So if John Carroll beats Marietta, they'll win the conference?
Yep.
Will it be like a three-way tie kind of thing, or just be...
Probably.
Gotcha.
I think they should implement conference championships in Division III.
They take championship games?
Yeah, conference championship games. They need to do that. My hot take of the day.
How would that work? So they play a team twice, basically? Like it's like, so if Mount Union lost to Marietta, but then like they beat everybody else, they'd play them again for the championship?
I think that's how it should work.
Was my TV on this whole time?
Especially if let's say Mount Union's undefeated, Marietta's got one loss. Marietta beats Mount Union. Now they both got one loss.
Oh, that'd be a good game.
I think they should have a conference championship.
I'm excited to see what happens in the OAC, but I'm also excited to see what happens in our conference.
Bluffton wins. That's my hot take too.
And Bluffton has a chance at the conference championship?
Undefeated.
We're 1-3 right now. We're 1-3, but we're undefeated in conference play.
What's a Manchester?
A Spartan.
What's a Spartan?
A soldier.
What's that?
Captain America.
Who's that? Who's she?
Who's him? I am him. What's all we got for you guys? Appreciate you boys watching. Chris, close us out, man.
Whenever and wherever you're watching this, have a great morning, noon, afternoon, night. God bless you guys. Stay smart, stay safe, and take care.
We'll catch y'all boys in the next one. Peace.